All right, guys, so the way that I want you to study for this is that I want you to go ahead and do the problem yourself, okay? And then unpause it. So read it, pause it, do it yourself, and then check your answer. If you just try to listen to me, you're not going to learn anything, okay? When you check your answer, whether you're right or wrong, go ahead and check your mistakes. And then you'll learn from it. So this one is John climbed to the fourth floor of a building. Mary walked down to the basement, which is one floor below the lobby. How far are John and Mary? What I want you to always do with word problems is make a picture in your head. So let's say there's a building and there's a lobby. In every building, there's a lobby. So I'm going to think my lobby is 0, okay? Kind of like a number line. So it says John walked up 4. Okay, so he went to the 4th floor, and Mary went down to the 1st floor of the basement. She went down. Okay, so it says, what is the distance between John and Mary? Well, the distance between John and Mary is 5 floors. Okay, he went from here to here's 4, and then from here to here there's 1. So they are 5 floors away from each other. Okay, on this question right here, in the test, what I'm going to do is that I'm going to say, I am doing the first step for you. Plot the other steps. So the first step is a positive 3. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to have it plotted for you. 1, 2, 3. You always plot the first number. Okay. Now, on step 2, what do you do on step 2? So you're still at positive 3. You're going to drop down. And now you're going to go negative 8. So from here, you're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So you're going to land here. And now for step 3, you're going to drop down on step 3 from the negative 8, and you're going to go back up 3. 1, 2, 3. And you're going to end up here. And let's see where we ended up. We ended up, this is 0, negative 1, negative 2. We ended up at negative 2. Let's test it. 3 minus 8 is negative 5. Okay, 3 minus 8 is negative 5, plus 3 is negative 2. Okay, so that you're going to get a question like this in the FSA. So just make sure, first step, drop down. Don't plot anything, but then do your step, plot, drop down, and then do your third step, plot. Okay, because they're going to test you on the answer, and they're going to test you on your plotting of step 2 and step 3. Okay, distributive property. Go ahead and try to do this. Pause it, and then come back to me. Okay. All right, so anytime that you see the parentheses, the first thing I want you to always think in your head is, well, parentheses goes first in PEMDAS. But in this case, I can't join these. So I have to go to multiplication. Okay, now you're going to multiply this with this and this with this. If you have a question like this in the FSA, I want you to rewrite the question carefully, and I want you to do the arrows because remember, it's going to be computerized. So you're going to say negative 1/2 times 3x. Immediately, I go ahead and I put a 1 underneath the 3. Okay, because it helps me multiply. So multiplying fractions, it's easy. A negative and a positive is negative. I multiply my top, which is 1 times 3 is 3. I multiply my bottom, 2 times 1 is 2. And then, of course, put in my x. Okay, I'm not going to put this in a mixed number. I'm just going to leave it like that. And now I'm going to multiply this side. I have a negative and a positive, which is a negative. 1 times 2 is 2. 2 times 4 is 8. And I'm going to leave it like this. Okay. Now, if you want to be very ambitious and you want to go ahead and give me this in mixed number, then you know that you divide. And it's going to be negative 1 and 1/2 x. And if you want to reduce this by 2, you want to simplify, it is 1/4. So I'll take both answers. But if you give this, you're good. Okay. All right, let's look at the other one. I made this one a little trickier because I want you to understand that in this case, first of all, go ahead and try it first. Okay, in this case, you can't just distribute that 5, okay, because this is 5 minus all of this. But this minus means you're multiplying that minus into all of this. So what that minus is going to do, forget this 5 for now, that minus is going to change everything in here. So if this x was, I'm going to bring things down. If that x was a positive, which it was, now it's a negative. And if this negative 8 is a negative, now a negative and a negative is a positive. Okay, now you got rid of your parentheses, okay? Because all you were doing is multiplying this negative in, okay? And now you're left with this. Now you combine like terms. You can actually combine the 5 and the 8, that's 13, and the x. You just bring it down. Negative x plus 13, okay? Or you can write 13 minus x. Same thing, okay? The 13 is positive, the x is the negative. So you can write it like this, or you can write it like this. All right. Now this one is going to get a little longer. Go ahead, pause it, and do it yourself. There's a lot of things that you always have to think about, but in math, you always need to think about PEMDAS first. So the first thing we're going to look at is inside the parentheses, because always and never forget your PEMDAS. Okay, so first is parentheses. So we're going to look inside the parentheses. Is there anything that we can combine inside the parentheses? Yes, there is. I can combine the negative 8 and the positive 12, which is going to give me a positive 4. Now I go ahead and I positive 4. So hold on. Okay, I do this. So I go ahead and I rewrite everything very carefully. Do not be lazy. Some of you, you know I'm on your case because you're sloppy. You can't be sloppy with this. Okay, so all I did is that I got rid of these 2 and I made it into a positive 4. Okay, now after that, after PEMDAS, I can't do anything else in the parenthesis. I look, I have no exponents. The next thing is multiplication. The only thing I can multiply here, remember parentheses means multiplication of the 3. So that means I have to multiply this 3 inside of everything. So this 3 has to be multiplied in here. This 3 has to be multiplied with this. So I'm going to bring this down. 3 times 5b is 15b. Positive 3 times positive 4 is positive 12. Okay, I'm done with all of this. Now bring the rest down. I bring my negative 2b plus, because that was a positive 15b. I bring this minus 6. Now I look at this and I'm like, okay, what can I combine? Perfect, I have a negative 2b and I have a positive 15b. Negative 2 plus a positive 15, a negative plus a positive. I'm actually subtracting and the positive is going to win. So this is going to be 13b. And then I have positive 12, negative 6. So 12 minus 6 is positive 6. Okay, and that is your answer. All right. Go ahead and do this one. I'm out of breath. Okay, hopefully you paused it and you tried. Let's do it. Now I'm going to look at the top and I'm going to look at the bottom as different things. Okay, so let's always remember in math, the first thing you think about is PEMDAS. In PEMDAS, the first thing is parenthesis. Can you work inside the parenthesis? You know you cannot. This has an A and this does not. After that is exponents. Okay, so let's go to my exponent because then I have to work on exponent. Okay, so I don't ever want you to do it in your head. Say, okay, what is negative 3 times negative 3 times negative 3? All right, so negative 3 times negative 3 is a positive 9. Positive 9 times negative 3 is a negative 27. Okay, so this whole big thing here is negative 27. So go ahead and rewrite everything because I just love to rewrite everything. So I have negative 27 minus 2. 3a plus 6. Hold on, Pikachu is scratching the door. Come on, Papa. Okay, over negative 2, 5 plus 6. Okay, I'm still working on the top. Now after exponent goes multiplication in PEMDAS. and the multiplication is right here with the parentheses. So I'm multiplying the negative 2 into everything. I'm multiplying this into this and this into this. So now I have negative 2 times 3 is negative 6a. Negative 2 times positive 6 is negative 12. And let me not forget that I have a negative 27 floating over here, bringing him down. Okay? Bring him over here and back to this. I'm still working on the top. So now what can I combine here? I can combine a negative 27 and a negative 12. When I have a negative and another negative, okay, we're not multiplying. These are all subtractions and additions. If I have a negative and a negative, it's a bigger negative. So I have 27 and 12, which is 39. So that's going to be negative 39. Okay, let me rewrite it. Now I have negative 6a minus 39. Okay, now I'm ready to work my bottom. So can I go inside the parentheses? Yes, 5 plus 6 is 11. And negative 2 times 11 is negative 22. So my bottom is negative 22. Okay, and you can go ahead and leave it like this. That's your answer. All right, if you did not get this, go back and review the video. Okay, on this one, find the constant. Remember what I explained to you about the constant in class? The constant is always rise over run. Okay, you go up first and then you go run. You go sideways. It is y divided by x. Okay, also the constant is always represented by the letter k. Okay, so now you're gonna, if you're given this, if you're given a graph, okay, you are going to find a spot where you can easily see the x and the y coordinates. In this case, I'm gonna look at this one right here, one that crosses right through a line. Now this is hand done, so it's not that clear, handmade. So I look at this spot and I look at what is my y, because I want to get the y first. My y, remember, goes up, is 6. And my x goes, remember, this is the run, this is goes across, is 2. So my constant in this case is 6 divided by 2. And 6 divided by 2 is 3. Okay? All right, now, if I asked you here, write the proportional relationship. Once you have the constant, this is the formula for proportional relationship. It is y equals your constant times x. So if I ask you in the test, write the proportional relationship, you find your constant, which we did, and you just write it like this. Y equals 3, because 3 is k, x. That's your answer. Okay? Now, sometimes they might not give you this. Sometimes they make it easier on you, and they go ahead and they give you a chart like this. So same thing. You say y divided by x. So you grab a 3, you grab the 3, divided by the 2. Okay, and 3 divided by 2 is 1.5. Or you could just leave it as 3 divided by 2. Okay, but if it's, how do I know that it's 1.5? For those of you that are like, what? It's 3 divided by 2. You just go like this. Bring your decimal up. 2 goes into 3 one time. 1 times 2 is 2. 3 minus 2 is 1. Add a 0. Bring it down. 2 goes into 10 5 times. 5 times 2 is 10. There you go. It's 1.5. Okay? So in this particular case, my k equals 1.5. If I have to write my relationship, my proportional relationship is y equals 1.5x. So let me tell you what this means so you can see it. It's kind of you saying 2 times, because that's x, right? 2 times 1.5 is always going to give me y. So if I can put in here 3, well, 3 times 1.5 is going to give me 4.5. So let's say if I even have like a 10 and you already have your proportional relationship, I can plug in 10 in my x and I can say 10 times 1.5. I already know this is going to be 15. Okay, so that's basically what it means. All right, that's it, guys. That's what your test is going to be on. Good luck. If you are a little nervous about this, then go back and make sure that now you can do them again by yourself and that you remember all the steps, and then do it again. Just try to do it again all by yourself. That's the only way that you'll really know if you get it. All right, thanks. Good luck. See you tomorrow.